Hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad to have you here. My name is Morolake. You can call me Mo. Today, I'm going to be bursting the myth of what we call Eingewöhnung site in Germany. I'm sure that if you're a mom, you've heard about this thing. You are wondering, what kind of system is this? I was also confused. I was also upset about the whole thing myself. But here, I'm going to talk about it a bit, and I'm sure you've also read about it a bit, right? But whatever it is that you're afraid, we're going to mix it together, and we're going to come to a conclusion on how to cope and manage it, and just and help those who are new. If you are new to the system and you're wondering what Eingewöhnungszeit is, well, you're in the right place. Let's get down to business. See you on the other side. Okay, so Eingewöhnungszeit, which literally means like acclimatization time, a time of helping your child to settle into the educational system, the school system, without crying, without stress, easily, simply, smoothly. In other countries, in other parts of the world, most times when you get to a new school, a child starts in a school, regardless of it, and this is particularly for children who are just starting school for the first time. So it's usually done in the gripe, that's like a kindergarten. What we Yorubas call Jekilu Simi. You get what I mean? Anyway, so you bring your child. So your child is just starting school. You're not just going to drop your child off and go 9. We don't do that here. 9. That's a niche for us, for uns. Did I just speak German? You understand what I'm trying to say? Let me go and speak. But my Deutsch is still ein bisschen. Anyway, so you drop your child off and go. Doesn't work here. What we do is use the Eingewöhnung site. That's the acclimatization time to help your child settle in. And this could be between 2 to 6 weeks of following your child every day to school, for that 2 to 6 weeks until your child finally detaches and settles into the system. So don't be shocked if you are ready to, you just come into the environment and you're ready to go to work, and then you realize that, oh, I can't just drop my child and go to work. I found a kindergarten, now it's time for me to go to work. You just drop your child and go. No, it doesn't work that way. I was also very shocked because I wanted to go for my language course, and then I realized that it doesn't work that way. Every day for 4 weeks, I had to go with my child every day for 30 minutes every day. Well, so different zones have different approaches and strategies. Some is strictly 2 weeks. Some will say 4 weeks. Some will say, look, you have to use the 8 weeks, the full 8 weeks. Some will say until your child acclimatizes. I've seen a parent who has followed their child to school every day for 2 months. But the moment your child settles in forever. You are not going to do it again. Hopefully, except there's a regression, but hopefully your child settles in forever. Your child gets used to the system straight up. But I know people who have done it for 2 months, who have done it for 6 weeks. I did my own for 4 weeks and still got rejected because my child didn't settle in. So we had to look for another kindergarten. Yes. Welcome to Germany. So yeah, it can be that challenging. What I want to achieve with this video is to prepare your mind so it doesn't come to you as a shock. So if you're new to Germany, this is one of the many things that I think you should take note of, particularly if you're a career person. Factor this in. Who is going to be the person to do this Eingewöhnungszeit, the acclimatization phase with your child? Usually they recommend that the dads are the ones that help the child settle in quickly because, they're not as attached to their dads as they are to their moms. But if in your family, your child is more attached to your husband or the dad, then whoever the child is less attached to is usually the better person to handle the Eingewöhnungszeit so that it's easier for the child to detach, right? And so for 30 minutes, usually you start with 30 minutes, then you go. Sometimes you can start with 15 minutes. Sometimes you can just do an introductory 5 minutes just to help your child settle in the class. And then 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes, and then 30 minutes, and then 1 hour. Then you start stepping out gradually. 5 minutes, you come back in. So your child knows that, look, when mommy leaves, mommy comes back. When mommy leaves, mommy comes back. comes with a lot of emotions. It can be very stressful, very demanding. It can take a toll on you because you really want to go to work, you want to go on with your life, you want to rest, you need some quiet time. But I want to encourage you to start preparing. The trick or the hack is to start preparing your child long before your child starts going to school. Start detaching, start taking your child to parks, start leaving your child alone and going out for long hours if possible. If you have friends, maybe you're not family, but maybe in church, maybe if you have somebody, a trusted hand, on weekends, if your partner isn't working, step out, go for a walk, leave your child, let the child cry a bit, come back in again. So the child start getting used to the fact that, look, mommy will not always be there. You're going to be, in the midst of different people. If you have white friends, start letting them come into your home so that your child can see that there are other people, apart from mommy who is black skinned, right? So that really just helps. So like I said, the hack is to start with months before, 2-3 months before you start taking your child to kindergarten. And like I said, babies listen. Babies can hear you. Don't assume that, oh, my baby cannot talk, or maybe he's still a baby, so they don't understand. Start having that conversation. Let them know, look, hey baby, you're going to start school very soon. You're going to see new teachers. Take them around the school. Go for a walk around the school, right? Start introducing them to the environment gradually. If you know the name of the teacher, if you know the teacher who is going to be assigned to you ahead, you can print the teacher's picture and put it somewhere around. What you're just trying to do is to help. The goal is to help your child settle in as quickly as possible. Some people, some children, they're very social, right? 2-3 days, it's done. So it all depends on you, the mother, and the child. Another hack is the fact that if you as the mom, you're crying every time you drop your child, you're not emotionally stable, you're so attached to your child as well, your child is going to pick on that emotion and it's going to affect you eventually. So you need to prepare your mind as well. You need to take your child to a kindergarten that you're sure that they will give your child premium care or the best care possible. Or you need to just prepare your mind that, look, my child has to go to school. He or she has to go to school. I have to go to work as well. So there's no time for this. Prepare your mind, become brave and courageous. No crying when you drop off, even if you form, look, they will pick it. So you need to settle it in your mind and say, look, I'm handing over my child to professionals and I'm sure that they will take care of my child. Once you have that, your child then picks on it and then it becomes easier. Easier doesn't mean that it will be shorter. Easier means that eventually things will get smoother. Maybe if you were supposed to use 6 weeks, you can use 8 weeks. If you have 6 weeks, don't mind me. If you're supposed to use 6 weeks, it can be 4 weeks, right? It really helps. If you are in a community with so many kids, people with so many children, start organizing play dates as much as possible so that they can quickly adjust. In the end, children always adjust. They are very resilient. Children are very resilient. They will pick up things. They will settle in. You'll be shocked. I'm telling you. So just have that confidence, have that peace of mind that everything will be all right. I hope this helps. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with friends and family who might find this useful. Bye.